welcome back to another episode of What Shall We Do Next. As always, if you guys are new here, please subscribe. We're on the road to 25,000 subscribers. I would love you guys to join me on this journey. So if you're not yet a What Shall We Do Next Akin soldier, all you have to do is subscribe right now to become one. Join the fam. Also, guys, follow me on all my social media. Links are in the description. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Go follow me on everything. And I'm coming back to you guys with another pretty creepy video. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm pretty sure you will since you enjoy this series. But you know it, guys. You know where we gotta go now. So say it with me, y'all. Say it with me. It's time for Paranormal America. So what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Paranormal America. I'm coming back at you guys with a pretty creepy video. This one wasn't actually based in the United States. This one actually, it was a true event that took place in Australia. So it's pretty creepy, and it is to do with Snapchat. You guys may have already seen this. There is a bunch of YouTubers that have done this story. As far as I know, the one I've actually watched who gave me the inspiration to do this was Corpse Husband. Check out that YouTube channel if you want some creepy stuff. Like, that's creepy. I thought I saw something over there. Woo! And if you guys are wondering, yeah, I did sleep a lot better last night. I didn't have any of those nightmares that I was talking about in my previous video. So yeah, thank you guys who were really concerned for me because I was feeling crappy. But anyway, back to the story. There was a guy in Australia who had like a blog, or I don't know whether it was a Reddit or something like that, or I don't know. I just heard a dog barking. He had some kind of blog page, and he posted on Snapchat these three. He was randomly home alone one day, and I think his parents were out, his girlfriend or wife or whatever she was out also. She had to work. She worked at a bar, so she was out late at night. So he decided he had these three exotic birds, all in separate cages, and he decided it'd be a good idea to update his Snapchat story and show his friends his exotic birds. So he was walking around, literally, like, we all know Snapchat, you get like a 10-second clip. He was like, this is this type of bird, and his name is, and then for the second clip, he would go to the second bird and be like, this is this type of bird, and his name is, and then for the third clip, as he was walking over to the third bird, in the background of his house, you can see I guess it's the front door. At first I thought it was a window, but apparently it's the door. And it's one of those doors that are made out of glass. You can clearly see right through. He does have a screen on the other side, which should prevent anybody pressing their face up against their face and hands up against the glass of the door. So it's almost as if the screen door was opened and somebody was pressing their face up, because that's what you see in the background. Just for like a split second as he's walking away, you can see the shape of like hands and a face pushed up against the window. He didn't notice this until one of his good but not great friends on Snapchat messaged him and said, something about you bearded beast, you with your birds or something like that. And then he was like, by the way, what was that on the last snap, like in the background? Which gave him a really big fright, because he actually mentioned on his blog that growing up, he actually experienced like sleep paralysis, and you guys would know we talked about that recently. He had sleep paralysis where he was constantly as a child waking up and had pressure on his chest, couldn't breathe, couldn't move, and each time it happened, he would look in the direction of the window and see somebody pressed up against the window with their hands cupped and their head like this. And he's now like a 24, 25, 26-year-old, I'm not sure. But he's grown up, he's not a child anymore. He even said he has a lot less of these reoccurring sleep paralysis experiences. So he actually mentioned he has them like once a year now, because it caused like insomnia and stuff like that. He was anxious to go to sleep. He hated feeling powerless and vulnerable in a way. So he was vulnerable when he went to sleep. He couldn't control what happened. It's a horrible thing, sleep paralysis, and from what I've heard, like, I've never experienced it, but I would not like to experience it. But then this guy, when he realized there was something in the background, it gave him chills. He was afraid to be alone and stuff like that. His like I said, his parents were out, and I think his wife or his girlfriend was working. She had a bar job, so she was out late at night. So he said, understandably, he avoided trying to be home alone ever if he could. But there was this one weekend where he had to be home alone. And I'm guessing this was his parents' house. So this one time he was home alone. He said all was going great, no problems since the Snapchat thing, except for the outdoor light kept coming on during the night. But he said I wasn't sure if it was just like it did that every night, and I've just never noticed until now because I'm paranoid. And he was more like, keeping on edge about everything, keeping his eye open for any suspicious activity. And then eventually, when he was home alone again on this weekend, he decided to play some video games, had his headset on. He was, hanging out with his friends on a game. And then he heard this like banging. He actually took an old cell phone and used it for nothing but video. So every time something crazy was going on, he was recording it for evidence to show the cops if ever it was like an intruder. Because I think this was what he was thinking it was at this point. And he wasn't sure, but like there was only one way to get to the back of the house. And he actually, there was a part in Corpse Husband's video where he actually walks into the kitchen because you can hear like the sound of the screen door like banging, almost like somebody's scratching and banging on the door. He's panicking, he doesn't know what to do. He's trying to avoid walking in the light. He goes around to the side of the house, which is where the access is to the back door, and he sees his reflection. That scared me, and I know I looked in the comments, and a lot of people said, "Oh my God, I got so scared when I saw his reflection." But he couldn't see anybody. He turned the outside lights on. He turned all the lights in the house on. Now, the noises eventually stopped, and he told his girlfriend or fiance, whatever she was. She got freaked out. She was like really understanding about the whole thing. She knew about what had been going on with him. And there was a clip where he was walking through the house back to the kitchen, I think. And as he walks out, you can see in the corner there's this like blackness, and it's a figure. You can see it's a figure of a human. It's like a black, like almost as if the whole body's black, and just the white face, and it's standing in the corner behind the stairs, I think it was. Just as he like for a glimpse turns, he didn't realize what it was. He took a picture later on to show what it actually looks like compared to what the camera picked up, and it's definitely a human standing there. It was almost like he wasn't even hiding, like he was standing in plain sight, but the guy just didn't see him. So this obviously drove him to tell the cops. The cops said they're gonna keep a lookout and stuff like that. There was the theory that they came up with was somebody had been trying to break into his parents' house and didn't realize he was home. So once the guy who was inside realized he was home, and they realized they screwed up, apparently the other guy who was trying to break in was outside, who started making a noise on the screen door to get the guy with the camera to go, to kind of like create a distraction so his buddy could get out the house without getting caught. But then the guy said, well, hang on a second, how did they get in? Because I make sure all the doors and windows were locked. So this is what opens another question. But then one of the police officers said maybe he got in through the roof. And I don't know, I just don't understand. Like, it's really scary. He hasn't updated as of now. Apparently he hasn't updated on his blog what's happened. They did decide to stay at a friend's house for a few nights, and the birds were okay, nothing was stolen, stuff like that. So this leads me to the question, which is going to be question of the day to you guys. Do you believe this was like paranormal? Do you think he was haunted all his life, since having the sleep paralysis? Do you think maybe it wasn't sleep paralysis, but maybe something was taking control of him when he was asleep, and every time he woke up he could see this in the window? And it's followed him until now, till he was in his 20s. Or do you believe that it was just two idiots trying to break in, who just so happened to be caught on camera doing this in the exact same position that he had like these hallucinations when he was a kid? I don't know. What do you guys think? Paranormal or intruder? Let me know in the comment section. And as you guys know, oh wait, we forgot to ask the Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball, was that Australian guy experiencing something paranormal? Signs point to yes. Well, my magic 8 ball knows everything, so there's the answer right there. But as you guys know, I've also started doing this thing where I like to poison your heads with powerful knowledge so that y'all don't have to go to school anymore. And I've started doing this thing called Random Fact of the Day, where at the end of every video I give you a random fact. And today's random fact is, did you know the unsinkable Titanic was the only ship in history to have ever actually fully sunk by hitting an iceberg? Like, what is the odds? Like, the unsinkable ship that cannot sink, God himself cannot sink the ship, they once said. And yet a lot of ships have hit icebergs, but the Titanic was the only one that's actually fully sunk from an impact with an iceberg. I mean, I think that's mainly because, like, when the Titanic hit the iceberg, it hit side on, which punctured a whole bunch of holes right down side of it, which opened up all, like, they have, like, the waterproof compartments and stuff, which it said, like, if it hit straight on, some people's theories are if they didn't try and turn away, and it went straight on, it probably would have, it would have been badly damaged. They wouldn't be able to sail it, but it would have just flooded the first compartment. It wouldn't have overflown into the next. But I think the reason that it actually sunk was because it scraped all along the side, opening water through all the compartments down the side of it, until it was like, eventually it was top heavy kind of thing, and it had no option but to go up in the air, and then eventually snapped in half and then stuck down. I don't know, I've always been interested in the Titanic though, so that's how I learned that one. But there you go, guys, random fact of the day. I love all you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hit the thumbs up button if you did, and yeah, let me know the answer to the question of the day. And remember the most important thing, guys, chase your dreams.